Hi guys and girls, I'm Obsidian Ant, and today we're going to take a look at Mars Horizon. Now this is a game I've been keeping my eye on for a little while now. You may have seen it mentioned around the internet from time to time. It's been developed by Auroch Digital, who were actually kind enough to invite me into the closed beta. It's also being worked in collaboration with the European Space Agency, so you can certainly expect to see some sciencey stuff in here. Now, the objective of the game is to be the first to land a manned mission to Mars, and we're going to dive right in here, see just how far we can get with that. Although that said, it is worth pointing out that the beta only allows us to go as far as a manned mission to the moon. A few steps short of the ultimate goal of the final release. So yeah, we start with the option to select 3 different space agencies. We've got the ESA, or the European Space Agency. We've got Russia, the civilian branch of Russia's space exploration program. And of course, we've got NASA, United States of America's civilian space program. So each of these actually have different agency bonuses that are granted to us for different things. This one is going to be particularly useful, I would have thought. Invalid launch windows become suboptimal launch windows. So basically it would mean that you've got more chances to launch. Basically they launch regardless of the situation. We're going to join the ESA here. Now, yeah, you're right in pointing out, if you haven't already, that for historical purposes the ESA wouldn't have been involved in the landing on the moon and all of that lot, because yes, the game starts in 1957 and the European Space Agency wasn't around at that point. In fact, it wasn't around for a few more decades yet, but I think we can give them a pass on that. So let's dive in. Welcome to the early preview of Mars Horizon. In this limited beta, you'll have access to the first 2 eras in the game, which takes you from launching your first satellite to landing humans on the moon. The game will end once you've completed the crewed moon landing mission, or in January 1980. So good luck in the space race. Good luck. So here we are on Earth. Yes, unless it's Earth, just in case we're too sure of that. Up here we've got our funds, our research. Basically this is a research game where we have to research technology and then put it into action, getting us up into space and eventually to the moon. We can see all that lovely stuff on the research tree over here. The first mission, the test launch, has been already researched for us. Yes, it's January 1957. And as yet, nothing really significant has happened in the space race. The second mission we can research here is in the ability to put a artificial satellite up into space. You can see that will take 2 months to research, and it looks like it costs us 20 units of research, which we're gaining at a rate of 11 units per month right here. Stuff also has a cost associated with it. You can see a currency cost here. Maybe that was what the C represents, currency, credits, don't know. Yeah, we can also research buildings for our launch facility, our base. So very simplistic at the moment. We've got the HQ, the nerve center of the space agency. Your journey of space exploration begins with the decisions made within this building. Generates 10 research per month. Additional 1 research per month, I guess, is a bonus. The upkeep cost is 0 currency. You can, of course, move it around and build within the confines of this demarked area here. Although, yes, we do have to remove the trees and shrubbery here, which is going to cost us 1.8 million credits just to remove those bits of tree there. 150,000 there for that lot. 100,000 for that lot. All this would free up room for us to build other buildings there. So we've got a small launch pad already. Launch pads are essential service structure for launch vehicles. They are indeed. And a vehicle hangar. All of these give us some bonuses, or alternatively cost us upkeep to maintain. We can see that here we can go for a slightly better launch pad, a rocket test pad. Unlocks mission training, launch reliability, so that gives us some actual improved benefits to the ability to launch, and we'll see a little bit more about launch reliability in just a second. Again here, unlocks mission training payload reliability. None of this we really need just yet. But research, of course, goes all the way down to the technology needed to get us to the moon. Eras 3 and 4 are not available in beta because basically we can only go up to 1980. And of course, we got vehicles here as well. We got some boosters. We will want to start researching. Actually, I'm going to research some of these now because you'll see each of these actually grants us reliability. The booster here, 60%. Jupiter, meanwhile, gives us 75% bonus to launch reliability. They also can carry different capacity, cargo capacity, and they do have different requirements in terms of launch pads. But all of these just need a small one. Right, so the build time for this is 3 months. The build time for this is 2 months. There's quite a significant gap in the launch reliability there. But I'm going to go for this one here because we do want to be the first to get up into space. Let's start the research going on that. Of course, you can see the upper elements of the rocket here. Again, they grant us different reliability bonuses. Where it says reliability per level, your equipment doesn't actually level up. It gains experience, essentially to represent the fact that after every launch there's always something that engineers and all the other bods in the space agencies actually learn. Click on Earth, we can see what we've got to do here. So these are the eras of space, dawn of space flight, test launch, which we're about to do, artificial satellites, essential first step in any space program. The first agency to launch a satellite into a stable orbit around Earth will take a prominent early lead in the space race. So I think it's fair to argue here that there's certainly some educational value in this game. Launching an animal into space provides crucial testing of life support systems without risking astronauts. They can also be sent in smaller spacecraft, don't necessarily need to be brought back to Earth. There we go. So yeah, all the way up to us where we need to go. So let's go for the test launch here. I'll plan the mission out. We need to select a vehicle, of course, and we've only got the option to build the sounding rocket. Later on, you'll be able to upgrade elements of the rocket. For now, we can't. These are locked because we're just using a sounding rocket, just a test rocket. And we can see that our chances of having a successful launch is just at 25%. So hardly ideal, but it is the dawn of space flight. It's going to cost us 80,000 currency or 80,000 credits to build this. Got 100,000, so I'm going to confirm that. We'll say that's fine. The vehicle has been approved, and I'm going to complete construction of that in 1 month. So fairly fast. But the next thing we can do here is move time forward. Meanwhile, just very quickly have a look at the diplomacy tab. We can see what the other agencies are up to. Yeah, this is our relationship with them. This is what they've actually achieved so far. Most recent milestone, none, of course, because we're right at the start of the game. They've got no upcoming either. Diplomacy tab we've looked at, that's the base tab we looked at. The active mission tab will take us back to this screen. And of course, we have looked at the research screen. So that's pretty much the sum total of the screens that are available in the game. It may seem very basic. I suggest it is quite basic in a lot of ways, but it is also all about, well, it's about history in a lot of ways that to factor in, and there is that educational well. And of course, it is a closed beta. We can see down there, content isn't final, so no doubt there's going to be more added in. So we can now at this point skip forward to the next month, or we can skip forward to the next event. The next event should be the completion of the rocket, the sounding rocket, as well as the completion of this research here. Jump forward to the next event. Right, so there's the booster that's already complete. A small early liquid fuel rocket based on earlier sound rocket. And have researched it at the same time as constructing the sounding rocket. As rocket technology advances, so does the prospect of exploring beyond the confines of our planet. Yet the public continue to question whether the fledgling agencies can overcome the dangers of spaceflight. So the perception of the public is all important here, because the public perception, the press perception, would all play into just how much funding the government will continue to grant you. The funding is just an additional 50k a month right now. That will go up. We're going to 5% launch reliability bonus here, 30% reliability overall. Next up, we need to set training and launch. Now, we can't set any training because we haven't any training facilities yet. We haven't researched that particular technology, so we're going to jump straight to the launch day. Now, what's actually worth looking at here is the launch window. The launch window is very, very important. Orange is a suboptimal. We'll only have 20% of launch reliability if we go with that date. Meanwhile, has no reliability penalty. So in this case, the rocket's capable of 30%, so that's what we get. Later on, you'll get rockets with much higher reliability. You won't suffer any penalties if you launch on these particular days. Another thing we'll see sometimes is the USA and Russia scheduling launches. They haven't scheduled a launch just yet. And jump forward in time if we want. Next April 1959, we can see we can't actually launch in that window. It doesn't actually tell us why, but sometimes the reasons for this can be poor weather, other such things. We're going to go with April. Hope for the best. Select that date. Approve the mission. Approved. Good to go. 2 months until launch. So meanwhile, we can head on back to the research screen and increase research technological capability. So we can continue with the booster technology here. Continue down, getting ever improved boosters until we get down to contractors and then other types of technology as well. All the way down to here. Like I said, we saw it over on missions. We can only go as far as the end of the second era. So the question now is, do I want to build an upper stage? We've got to get ready for the second mission after all, which is the deployment of the satellite. Now I'm going to go with the caster booster, and then we'll just have one of these upper stages, I guess. Whichever one's the quickest. Go for the topaz upper stage and the caster, because I do like the launch reliability of this. Here we go. So let's skip forward to the next event. So they're both Russia and the US scheduled launches. Optimal date, no training set. Selected any training profiles simply because we don't have the ability to even do that. They're scheduled to launch this month, maybe as well. Or if there's, can we see that? Yep, upcoming launch this month. NASA and Russia are also trying to launch this month. So this will actually determine who is the first launch into space. Will history repeat itself right here? Time will tell. But we are ready to launch. Mission control. Our launch pad there. The weather looks good. Is it dawn or is it sunset? Yes, we don't actually know. Ready to go. Now, things can fail here, as you can see. But the weather has given us improved chances. So launch reliability, 30%. Good conditions give us a 9% bonus, which is very handy. It'd be nice at this point, actually. I'd like insight into what the other agencies are doing. Maybe that's something that the developers can add in later on. I'd like to see a little bit of an insight as to what Russia and the USA are doing in this particular case. Maybe as little windows off to the side if they're doing things at the same time as us. So yeah, nothing too bad. We've got a 15% chance of critical failure. More than I would actually like, to be honest, but nonetheless, we're going to go with this. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's crossed. Good for the best. But we haven't exploded on the launch pad. We've actually hit some altitude here. Hope it doesn't explode. It's looking good. looking good. We've done it. A nice smooth launch there, no explosions. See what we got. Secure launch, neutral, no emission effect, 29% chance, but no losses. Now this is the experience I was mentioning earlier on in the video. You can see here we've gained some launch experience. So the sounding rocket is now capable of being 40% reliable. Based on what we've learned, I assume, that particular launch. The launch milestone achieved. We are the first agency to launch into space. We bet the USA and Russia. In fact, we're going to jump over to the diplomacy screen and see if they actually achieved their goals. Right, they haven't actually launched just yet. Haven't completed their launch. Wonder how we got in there first. I did choose April, didn't I? I'm sure I chose the same month as them. Never mind. So let's see how our research is going. We can see the little circle around here nearly completed on the Castor rocket. We will then need to see about researching the next mission. We need to do launch an artificial satellite up into. Artificial satellite is our next objective. So essentially, we've got a choice coming up as to whether we want to go for technology that gives us a lot of reliability, or technology that actually takes time to develop but is more reliable. So in this case, that's the Topaz. Not quite so reliable, but we can develop that in 1 month. Or the Jupiter, which is far more reliable, but will take 3 months to reach. But don't forget, we are in a race with the other agencies. In that 2 months to research the mission itself, another month or so to finish researching Castor booster, and of course time to build the rocket as well and then prep the launch. So again, we're going to jump forward to the next event, which should be the completion of the booster. A powerful solid fuel booster designed to launch payloads low Earth orbit. We're going to choose the slightly less reliable upper stage here. Get forward a month, it would then be researched and have a look, see how Russia and NASA are doing. So the most recent milestone looks like they had a successful test launch, and like Russia haven't done theirs yet. I don't know how we're still in April. That seems to be perhaps there's a bit of a glitch. I don't think we're in April anymore. We're actually in June. But keep in mind, this is early development here. Now, I did mention early on we're first into space. I guess that's not quite true. We were the first to suborbit. But nonetheless, we were the first to have successfully tested rockets. So that's going. We will need to research this next, but the no, that completed, didn't it? Fine, that did complete. I forgot. Let's research this then. Next mission. Jump forward to the next event. Off we go. An essential first step in any space program. First agency to launch a satellite into a stable orbit around Earth will take a prominent early lead. Space race. Let's hope that's going to be us. Okay, let's skip another month forward. Hopefully we get to the point where we can grab this mission. Oh, research the payload. Don't make these simple mistakes because they do cost you time. When you're in a race with other agencies, time you don't want to lose. So we need to get the satellite up in space. We do need the payload as well, of course. So we're going with that. Let's see if that's caused us any problems over here. Nope, they're still on their test launch, but they're still in April for some reason. So who knows? Who knows what's going on there? Yeah, you can see the research is slowly moving forward here as it consumes our available research up. Let's get forward. Research complete. A small cylindrical satellite carrying basic X-ray, cosmic ray. Now, back here. You can see our research wasn't wasted that we put into the upper star 37. We can actually now continue with that. We only need 7 units of research to the bit I've been looking forward to. We're going to have to build the payload first. That's going to take a little bit of time. We can see the payload is fairly reliable, 65%. So I wouldn't have a chance to put in anything too valuable in there. Certainly not human or any form of life, really. We select that payload nonetheless. So plenty of money to be getting on with now. We're probably due budget review, but not too much longer. We're going to approve this. Right, payload approved. Hey, so let's step forward to the next event, which would be completion of the research then. The government has reviewed your agency budget, as I mentioned just now, based on your performance over the last 12 months. Well, we were the first into space. Like it's 13 positive. We're now at 75k credits per month. So the next tier will be 100k. That's fine. Completed research on that. Let's look at some more research. So yeah, before we can get down to unlocking contractors, we're going to need 4 units from this row, by the looks of it, completed. So let's very quickly go into get one of these, which is whatever's a cheaper research, 20 units. We need, I think, we just start on our mission now. Complete the mission profile and mission payload. We start planning the mission. But we haven't put a satellite up in space yet, have we? Did that happen? But the last mission has just disappeared, hasn't it? That is odd. Now, I either did something very wrong there, or very right, because we've jumped straight to animal in space. Fine. But we don't get to launch a satellite for some reason. Oh no, best launch high altitude photograph. Launch a sounding rocket equipped with a 35mm camera. Capture images, curvature of the Earth from. Can't actually take that. Seems we haven't got any mission slots available. I guess we're just going to move forward with researching this next. I think we'll let this complete first, though. Shall we? Decisions. I'm going to abandon that other research and change it out with looking about 4 months, maybe 5 months to research that. That's where the satellite mission went. I was actually building the payload. What a wally. Now we can select the mission. Go for a new design. I'm going to go with a decent upper stage. You can see all the upper stages that will eventually be available to us. Orange triangle here means, yeah, we haven't done the research yet. We do have 2 upper stages. This one gives us a 28% launch reliability. That's the original topaz that we launched. Or we can go for the Star 37. Is now complete. Gives us a 43% launch reliability. I'm going to go with that. It is more expensive. It'll take 3 months to complete, but hopefully that's alongside booster. I don't know if the booster's going to addition. Yeah, okay. The booster's going to take us up to 6 build time. The question is, do we want to wait 6 months or do we want to go for 4 months? I think we are in a race with the US here. I'm going to go for more reliability here. Right about the particular Keep the name Goose. Goose is alright, isn't it? The cost of that take 6 months to build. Meanwhile, we'll continue on with our research. See if we can get any information on these guys. They're not got anything scheduled. Russia still. Right, they've done a test launch, but they're still doing a test launch for some reason. NASA, meanwhile, haven't anything scheduled just yet. It's forward there. Right, NASA is going to launch in 3 months. I saw just down there. Launching an animal into space provides crucial testing of life support systems without risking. It can also be sent in smaller spacecraft and don't necessarily need to be brought back to Earth. Right, NASA is launching an artificial satellite in 3 months. Russia is doing the same in 6 months. Now, one thing you will have noticed over here is the suggested vehicle parts. These are the components that we will actually need in order to send an animal up into space. Suggested parts for an animal in space, which, fortunately enough, we have all researched. Always go with slightly improved ones still if we want. We need any particular buildings for that? Nope. Pretty much got all what we need. So we're going to go with Eden Research. Small capsule able to carry animals into. We'll keep going with that. I think we've got the technology needed to get them up there. We just don't have the know-how just. I can't see where the satellite map of the satellite mission is again. Really should be able to count the progress of the construction of our satellite, and don't seem to be able to do that. Nothing here. Never mind it. Let's get forward. This is now complete. And to prep. Final environmental testing have found the payload to be more resilient than projected. Yet there have been several issues with the vehicle's maintenance. Okay, so no, better off there. 10% payload reliability, but negative 10% launch reliability. Overall, 3%. Let's set a launch date. The USA have already launched a satellite. They've achieved their goal. They've let us be the first together. They didn't successfully complete that. Oh yeah, they've got their first star there. The gold star, the gold medal award. The USA got that. We are looking for the silver. Confirm that. A few delays in the way we did our research there. We went for more reliable technology and paid the price of not being able to be the first for that. But, you know, that's fine. September 1958, we are set to go. We've not selected a training profile. We know we don't have any training facilities. We're going to go for launch. Launch off our launch pad with chance of launching. What are our launch parameters here? Can you tell us? Launch reliability affects the chances of negative event occurring. So overall, a 76% chance of things going good. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. No explosions. No explosions, please. We are successfully off the launch pad. I'm doing too bad here. I'm not going to make it, you know. Yes, we made it. Nice, no explosion. Good. Right, so we should see this at least now. We got some more data there, for once. So now we can actually interact with the satellite up in space. And I will admit I don't fully understand this particular aspect of what's going on here, but That means we need to collect 2 of these and 2 of these, does it? Is that the objective? Yep, the objective is to collect 2 these things and these things, whatever they are. Right. That takes 1 action up. This additional action. So when we go resolve the turn, it will tell us our likelihood of completing it, or whether we completed it. We need to get outside the red there into the blue, or preferably even into the green. So let's see if these are going to make it. And no, the line, the burst transmission did not make it. You can try and resist that. Hopefully that will do the job. Go, we've now got 2. No, have we not got 2? Wow, this satellite's not doing a good idea. Very good, is it? Camera shutter failure. An electrical malfunction in the camera has resulted in reduced data generation. This action's output will be reduced by 1. Spend 1 to resist. 1 energy to resist, that's fine. So the next mission, the next objective, got 1 lot of energy left. Go for that. Hopefully that's enough. If it fails, we won't achieve the objectives that we've set. I know we've got. Currently have 1 unused action. Unused actions will generate 1 power slot. Good. Oh, come on. You can do better. Whoever made this camera didn't do a very good job, did they? An electrical malfunction in the camera has resulted in reduced data generation. We know we are going to try and resist that. That should give us the 2 light units. There we go. We completed our mission. Nice. But there we have it. Successful Earth orbit. I think that is a pretty good place to leave this particular video. I think it gives you a bit of an overview of what to expect from the game. Again, it is a closed beta, but I'm certainly looking forward to seeing more. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys and girls next time.